Yo, what's up YouTube? Today we're going to talk about LaMelo Ball's strengths and weaknesses as a player, and also kind of his draft stock right now, what teams should, look forward to picking him up. Just all of that in one video, so let's get straight to it. So I've been to a lot of different websites trying to figure out what LaMelo's actual height and weight are, and this is what I found. He's somewhere between 6'6 and 6'8, and he weighs between 180 and 190 pounds. In his time with the Hawks in the NBL, LaMelo played a total of 12 games. He put up 17 points, 8 rebounds, and 7 assists within 31 minutes of playing time per game. That was enough to get him the 2019/2020 NBL Rookie of the Year award. He showcased amazing court awareness during that time. LaMelo's already got a Hail Mary type pass in his arsenal, and he displayed that a lot in the NBL. He'll grab a defensive rebound and make his way in transition, then he'll use his insane arm strength to get his teammate an easy layup on the other end. It's also pretty nice that LaMelo knows the personnel on his team. For example, he knows when to choose whether to drive to the rim or make that outlet pass to an open shooter. At this point, I truly think that LaMelo is probably the best playmaker in the 2020 draft class. And it's not like he's getting all these turnovers either. I mean, he only averages 2.5 turnovers a game, and his assist to turnover ratio is really good. Other than that, you also have his 3-point shot, which he's been developing a lot ever since he was a little kid, and he may not shoot it at a high percentage, but we all know that he can make it, and he has some range behind the arc. Not only that, but his floater, which he's also worked on for a long time, is a super underrated part of his game. And finally, much like his older brother, LaMelo is a really great rebounding guard. In fact, he averages 12 offensive boards a game and 8 overall. LaMelo averaged 17 points on 38% field goal shooting, 25% three-point shooting, and 72% free throw shooting. For all you stat geeks out there, that's a total of 43% effective field goal shooting, which is pretty bad. I wouldn't necessarily label him with those splits though, considering they're mostly that bad due to his first 6 games, which were really rough. But nonetheless though, you can't really just ignore the fact that one of LaMelo's biggest flaws in his game are his bad shot selections and overall just bad footwork around the rim when he drives to the paint as well. Some people may say that his defense may be a big part of those flaws too, but I'd honestly have to disagree. Since becoming a pro, LaMelo's been a much better defender. Sometimes he uses his size to overwhelm his whoever he's really guarding, or he'll use his natural defensive awareness to make that quick and easy steal. By the way, this is probably a good time to mention that he averages 1.5 steals a game, which is the second most in the NBL. With that being said, he isn't anywhere near a great defender just yet though. Sometimes he overcommits for steals, which leads to an easy bucket by the other team, or he'll even tend to just be too passive at times. So he'll start leaning off from opposing teams' best shooters and just leave them wide open for the easy 3. Plus he also has a long ways to go as far as dodging screens and the pick and roll. So yeah, as far as defensively, I gotta say that I'm mostly impressed with how far he's come along, but I'd still say that LaMelo's still an average to below average on-ball defender and a pretty decent off-ball defender. So defending has kind of become a gray area type of thing in his game, in my personal opinion. I think LaMelo is a top 5 pick in this year's draft, mostly because I think he's got the highest upside in the 2020 class for me, but at the same time you also got to keep in mind that his floor is pretty low if he doesn't pan out. So it's kind of unfortunate that LaMelo had to, part ways with the NBL so soon due to a minor foot injury. But at least now his draft stock is set in stone. And like I said before, I believe he will be that top 5 pick. And also, he does get to go back home and also focus on rehabbing as well as training for the combine this summer. So it's kind of like a win plus lose situation. So as far as actual NBA teams that I think should actually consider drafting him, I gotta go with at least one of these 3. First of all, I've got the Pistons because they obviously need to go for talent over fit. They've been selling house for a while now as far as like trading Andre Drummond and shopping Luke Kennard in the trade deadline. Blake Griffin is probably out of the door soon as well. So yeah, I think LaMelo would be a perfect start to a rebuild for them. Second of all, I've got the Knicks, who are currently the 3rd worst passing team in the league. So LaMelo would, right away help them out in that department, as well as many other things if he ends up panning out. And by the way, I also think that LaMelo in NYC would be pretty dope because I think he kind of thrives from being like under the bright lights. Ever since he was a high schooler, he's been, in national TV and all that. So if anybody's really ready for that in New York, it would definitely have to be LaMelo. And third of all, I've got the Cavs, and they're kind of in the same situation as New York because they're kind of a bad passing team. But I would go ahead and trade one of Darius Garland or Colin Sexton to kind of lighten up that guard rotation if you do end up drafting LaMelo, because I just kind of don't believe in like the defense if you put all 3 of those in the same lineup. So yeah, that's just my personal opinion, especially if you end up getting Andre Drummond in this year's free agency as well. So yeah, those are the 3 teams, and honestly, I'd be really surprised if one of those didn't end up drafting him. Since we're talking about the prospects in the 2020 draft class, I'd also like to know if y'all want to see another mock draft from me. I did one a few months ago and the video did really well, so I was just kind of wondering if you guys would like a new version where I kind of fit like the entire lottery, and it'd be, a lot more research and detail gone into it about each player and all that. So just go ahead and let me know in the comments. With that being said though, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you did, then make sure to leave a like. Also subscribe if you haven't already, and don't forget to turn on post notifications by tapping that bell icon. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace and love to everybody.